Good. Good.
Hey everybody, Tina Campbell, the New York Regional Partner, and I'm really excited to today on my Lunch and Learn. I have David Boswell, who's a friend, and he's also a regional partner down in Texas, Central Texas,
Yeah.
and he'll tell us about that. But right now, we want to have a discussion about being your authentic self in order to sustain your business during this time. Some of these lunch and learns that we've been doing with everyone, our members, is to just hopefully to get some timely and even timeless truths out to everybody. Because I think, David, what we're going to talk about, honestly, it's going to be something that you should do moving forward, even, just kind of remembering what it is to really get and work inside, in your business and on your business, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Welcome. Tell people who don't know you about what you, who you are and what you're doing.
So I'm David Boswell, Master Network's regional partner down in Texas Central. So that's Austin, Austin, San Antonio area of Texas, the best parts, right? So I'm born and raised Austin.
Arguing.
I'm born and raised Austin, so I always think that Austin's the best spot. I've been all over, or I've tried to be all over the country. Tina, I'm coming to you next. I keep saying.
Yep, New York is going to still be here when you come. Oh, you froze.
Through Master Networks and authentic self. So
great. So, like I said, New York will be here when you come, and we might, hopefully, we'll be out of this state, but of being. But I think that some of the way we've done business in the past will evolve, and I think some of it even has to go back to basics, right?
Yeah, the way that I see it, a lot of us that have been networking effectively, this time is sustaining us. Like, we had good practices to begin with, and we just had to put all that into play during this time, and our support structure is there. And so there's some people that are figuring that out just now, and on how to move forward. And some of it we will move forward in the same fashion. I think we've learned a lot in this period of time, along with some other folks. So there'll be a lot of positive things that go with the new normal, so to speak. But when I talk about being your authentic self, it's because I'm sure everybody has experienced like some sort of business person or entrepreneur that hasn't quite grasped how to put themselves out there. So there's some negative things that could happen to you as far as getting bombarded by people with just a rash of emails and a bunch of cold calls, and it's just, everybody's desperate because they're either going out of business or they're losing business or they're needing to gain business and everything. But it's really about relationships, is what we've been preaching all this time.
Yeah. About
relationships. And my businesses I've been able to grow just solely through referrals and relationships that I've built and cultivated. And so if you are accustomed to doing that, then you're figuring it out, or you already have figured it out. And so during this time, my biggest thing is touch base with your network, touch base with your current clients and customers. Just not so it's buy this and I got a new service and I need your money. It's, are you okay?
Right.
Because there are people right now that are not getting those phone calls. And it's powerful when you do make a phone call. First of all, phone call is very powerful. But when you touch them in a way that you are just concerned about them and their well-being and their family and how can I be of service, giving that type of value up front, that you're just not, that's not, immediately profitable. You're not going to be able to log an ROI on that. But that person is going to say, wow, they've done business with me, and a business person I've done business with reached out to see if I'm okay. They care about me that much as a customer. You have earned loyalty. You have earned all their referrals. So organically, you're going to gain if you lead with a place of love and support, because I do business with people I love and support. And those, I like to think those are my customers that do business with me. So as long as you lead from there and check on people in a personal way, then your business is going to be safe.
So I call them, instead of cold calls, I call them care calls.
Ah, I like that.
right?
I'm gonna
So
steal
just
that.
so when I'm talking to, people and I'm like, are you making care calls? And they're like, oh, wait a minute, what is that? I'm like, if you go into your database, and the other thing is this is another thing I was thinking about, is let's say you send out a newsletter and you continue to be sending that, let's say, electronic newsletter out. And if there's a way to see who's engaging with you, who's opening it, for instance, right? And some of these, some newsletter companies that you might use to send those out, you're able to see. So I say to people, I'm like, why don't you get your list of people that are opening, and you plan to call them. Now, you don't ever tell them you saw them open the email, because that's creepy.
Yeah.
But those are the people I would go to first. If you have to like know who to call, if there's anyone like a current list that you might have in your in your accounting software, somebody like who your current clients are, start with them and then go to the past clients.
Sure.
But start making these phone calls, these care calls, based on people, like maybe your you know 6 months back current current clients. I'm just trying to tell people, I'm like, these are the people that, they're going to remember you. They're going to, as you said, they're going to use you, and start with them and then keep going backwards. But care calls,
Hmm.
nothing about, sales, unless they
I like
ask.
that. I like that a lot. I have a member that is promotional products. And no, actually, no, I'm sorry. It's a promotional products and a realtor. So the realtor and the promotional products seats got together, and they have these rocks, and it says love on the rocks, or it says support, or it has, inspirational words, just
Yeah.
one word on the rock. And so they have dropped those rocks off at their clients' homes, just on the porch with a business card. We're thinking of you, or to people that have given them referrals in the past, and asking them, hey, like you're saying, who are the hot buttons, and
Yeah.
just cultivating those relationships.
Yeah.
And that it might be something they needed to see. They went out to check the mail. They're having a bad day. They found a rock that has an inspirational word on there. That
Yeah.
might have been what they needed to see. And now you're top of mind.
Yeah.
So,
You're like not really doing it. You have to do things, as you were saying, that's authentic to you. It can't be suddenly changing your personality.
yeah,
So
yeah.
the support and the raw kind of goes along with the person's usual message or whatever. We have one of our members here, new member, Dave Hauser, who is in Connecticut, doesn't even have a chapter, but loves Master Networks, and he's now coming around with the some of our other like New York State meetings now that we're virtual. So he has a farm, and he's been delivering to his clients. He's a financial services eggs.
Oh, wow. Yeah, that's
And
powerful.
he said, I'm not doing this to like drumming up business. I'm doing it to say thank you. Here, hopefully you can use, some of these use eggs. And I think it's fantastic. Again, you don't have to feel like you're, trying to indebt anybody to you, right?
Hmm.
Make them indebted, but you're just saying like, I just want to give this to you because thank you. So it's perfect, because he's like relates a lot of his business to farming, a lot of business to farming, planting the seeds,
Yeah.
all of the farming things that I had a great lunch and learn with him recently that's coming out. I'll tag you on it, Dave, because I think that we really could remember going back to the simple. And I think
Hmm.
that's what you're saying, right?
Yeah, yeah. So, a lot of things will come out of this time period. Um, there are relationships that are stronger. There are relationships that are formed. We're seeing inside of Master Nerds, the national relationships are getting stronger over the ability to do Zoom calls and join in on each other's calls.
Yeah, I love
Uh,
it.
so, oh yeah, there's a lot that that is here to stay. So I'm hoping that families get off of the electronical devices and actually have dinner
And
at a
game
table
nights,
all together.
game nights.
Some of the walking outside bikes were sold out at Walmart. So I'm hoping that some of those positive things, the interactions, remain in place even outside of business.
What do you say to people that look at this and they're like, they kind of, and everybody's different, right? So
Yeah.
some people kind of isolated a little bit, kind of slowed down. What would you say to people that, you know, now are kind of looking at this like, wow, we're going to almost be hopefully at some point reopening. What would you say to people in your estimation? Like, what should they do if they're not like going forward right now in this great momentum? What would you say to people that are a little at a standstill? What-
Well, we always say that you're a product of the five people you hang around. So if you need a more positive mindset, you need to find those people and be in that more. If I want more income, I'm gonna find those people that are making more than me. I'm gonna be around them. Some people are negative and they need to be negative over there, but it doesn't go all together because some people I'll associate with them because they're negative because I'm trying to bring their energy up to where mine is, but
Right.
I that can't be everybody around me. So the introverts, this is fantastic. Stay on Zoom and get those relationships going. Because we're going to open up, we're going to be physical again, but it's easier. I would say get in and just Zoom with everybody. It's easier. Turn the camera off, or you can take a break, or whatever needs to be done. Because when we get back to meeting physically, it'll be that much easier because you've had that interaction, and maybe you met with somebody over Zoom you hadn't met physically in person. Now, when you meet them physically in person, that anxiety is gone because you've met them really over Zoom, and it's almost pleasurable because it's like, man, I feel like I know you. Well, you do.
Yeah, it's
But
really interesting. So we have in New York, we have our meetings in Westchester, which is north of New York City. We also have New York City locations, but in my region, it's everything but New York City, right? Because that's another animal there. And JRT's runs that, which is terrific. But I have some groups that are across the Hudson, and we're really starting to grow in what they call like Orange County,
yeah,
really Hudson Valley. We also have some people like on the New York, New Jersey border. They have never met in 4 years, the people on this side of the bridge.
yeah, isn't that great?
I've been trying to tell them how wonderful they all are because Master Networks is learning based and community minded. So we have these wonderful people over there, but they haven't been coming over the bridge, and now they are. And they're like, wow, we love this.
Well,
And
that's where I am. I know that's where your excitement comes from too, because I'm excited equally because being the regional partner, we're in this meeting, that meeting, and a whole lot more, and I get to know all of my people. And
yeah,
the worst thing for me is when I know somebody and I know somebody else, and they need to know each other,
yeah,
but they can't. They're like too far apart, and they can't find the time. They're like, no, you really would like this person. You really would develop a strategic partnership of some kind. And now I'm able to kind of do that, and
I
they can kind of come together that way. So it's exciting.
So you know what? So wouldn't you say it's like for anybody here, obviously that doesn't know what Master Networks is or does, that I've been just like happy. Come on a Zoom call, come and meet some people,
Yeah,
even if it's one time, and it just you get uplifted because of the things we're talking about and the way we're. I mean, I know people are really hurting, but for an hour we laugh together,
yeah,
and we commiserate together, but we try to keep it very positive. I mean, we're not sitting there like we talk about business. I know there's a lot of things going on in people's families and that we're very well aware of, but I think that people just need to come and see what this is, right?
yeah, absolutely. I was on call this morning, and there was a gentleman. He's a very dedicated member, but for some reason he had a bad day yesterday, and he slept on it, and he woke up. He didn't feel much better, but he said the only reason he got out of bed was just to get on the call because he listens to it on a weekly basis. And 10 minutes into the call, he's like, "I'm refreshed. I'm good." He came around the energy he needed, around the people that know and love him, and they didn't even know anything was really wrong with him, but at the end of the meeting during a testimonial, he's like, "Man, I needed you guys. I needed you guys." But what we found was we needed him too because he gave a lot of input, and he said a lot of things that people needed to hear. And so
Right.
it's like, man, we would have been missing out on his presence at the meeting. And so I'm glad that he decided, hey, you know what? I didn't have a good day. I still don't feel like I'm going to have a good day. But we were able to add to his day, and he probably has had a good day. And I know that I still remember some of the things that he said that I took notes on.
So
So I was
maybe
happy
those,
he was there.
maybe those 5 people you were saying that need to be around are 15 people that are
Yeah, it might be,
meeting,
might
right?
be. And
Um,
that's another thing. You don't have to go in a room full of 40 people. You're on a computer. It's better. It's
yeah,
okay. Get on a computer and get to know everybody without feeling so intimidated.
and it's like the oddest Brady Bunch, right? That's like
Yeah.
all gallery viewed. And the other is somebody mentioned, and I'm really dating myself here, but they mentioned Hollywood Squares.
Oh,
And
I remember Hollywood Squares. Oh yeah.
like that. But Dave, thank you so much. I mean, I really appreciate always talking with you, and I've gotten a lot of insight on business. I mean, my background's more HR and all of that, community stuff. But I've really had great conversation with you on business and how to act and be inside of your business. So that's been really helpful to me. So I want to say thank you. I really appreciate it.
Oh, well, of course. Well, thank you for being who you are, because I tell you what, I've had a pleasure in getting to know you, and I know that we have this lifelong friendship we've developed. So I'm proud of that.
Yeah, and it's great because, like I said, I think we complement each other in the strengths that each other can, bounce off of the other. So
Yeah.
that's really neat too. And again, that's a great thing because, as they say in business, right? If you have someone exactly like you, one of you is redundant.
Yeah. 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 One of you is not needed. If I have a clone, I don't want to have to put up with that guy anyway.
I know,
What do
right?
I need him for?
That would be boring. That would be really boring. Right, so thank you so much. I really appreciate it. Thanks for coming on and speaking with me today.
Yeah. My pleasure.
Thank you.